what's up? It's House Hill in the lab. Man, I'm fully convinced that Native Americans spoke Hebrew and that the English language that we know today is based on our base language of Hebrew, which means not only was everything stolen from us, but that includes our language. I know it's hard to grasp onto. I know that there are a lot of lies that have been told to us, but I'm pretty convinced that this was the case, that we spoke the language, and the language that we now speak is based on that language of Hebrew. Think about how differently we use the English language, the language we know of as English. We don't use it the way other people use it. It sounds like a totally different language. I don't know. What does that mean? Round now. We totally do what we want to do with it because it's ours to begin with. It's probably what we say is English today for Ebonics and black people, so-called black people, is the original way that English was spoken. Hebrew was spoken. English is just a break off of the Hebrew language that we once spoke. So many lies. What do you determine? What is the truth? If you do your research, I'm sure you'll see that most of the stuff I tell you about on Dark Enlightenment, telling you America's darkest secrets, is true and can be factually backed up. If you do your research, you'll see I'm telling you the truth. But we out. Peace.
This is the Johnson Humrick House Museum in Coshocton, Ohio. It's about an hour and a half east of Columbus, Ohio. So what you see here, these are called the Newark Holy Stones, and they were found in 1860 at Newark, Ohio, which is only about an hour east of Columbus. They were found in the burial grounds of an ancient mound builder civilization, which the United States calls the Hopewell civilization, who were here from about the 500s BC to about 400 AD. They were found by a man named David Wyrick and about 7 other witnesses. This first stone you're looking at here, this is nicknamed the Decalogue Stone. It was found in November of 1860 in a large burial mound. And the reason why it's called the Decalogue Stone is because it has the entire 10 Commandments inscribed on it in ancient block Hebrew letters. You'll notice there's a person carved here in the middle. It looks like he's wearing a robe and a turban on his head and holding a tablet. The letters above his head say Moshe, which means Moses. As you can see, the inscription of the 10 Commandments is all over the front, sides, and back of the stone. After the stone was discovered, when word got out about it, many people automatically dismissed it as fake because they didn't think it was possible for an ancient Hebrew artifact to be found in a North American burial mound that was a couple thousand years old. And they weren't aware that block Hebrew was a genuine written form of ancient Hebrew. They thought it was made up. Now, if you notice behind the Decalogue Stone, you have the case and the lid, which the stone was found in. And as I mentioned before, David Wyrick had witnesses with him. They dug up thousands of wagon loads of dirt and stone, and at the very bottom and center of the burial mound, they found a wood coffin. When they opened it up, there was a skeleton inside that soon crumbled to dust, as ancient skeletons often do when they're exposed to air. There was a stone found with the skeleton, and when they picked it up, they could hear rattling inside of it when they shook it. And it turns out the stone was a stone case cemented together with something inside of it. They couldn't get the case open, so they cracked it open with a shovel, and that's when they found the Decalogue Stone inside of it. This small bowl here, this was found with the Decalogue stone, and it has Hebrew significance, but I can't remember what it is. I'd have to search through my notes to find out and remember what it is. So sorry about that. But the other artifact here that I want to get to, this here is nicknamed the Keystone because it's shaped like a keystone. It was found a few months earlier in June of 1860 in the Newark area in a sinkhole. It has 4 sides, and on each side is a different inscription. So there's 4 inscriptions total, and they say, "The King of the Earth, the Word of the Lord, the Laws of Jehovah, the Holy of Holies." And sadly, this stone was also dismissed by many as a fake. And because of all the backlash that David Wyrick kept getting about these stones, and people calling him a fraud and his reputation getting ruined, eventually the poor guy committed suicide. But thousands of Judeo-Christian artifacts like these have been found throughout North America, and they've always been dismissed by US academia as fake. But if you learn about the Native American tribes that belong to the Algonquin and the Iroquois families, you'll find that their ancient ancestors came in boats across the Atlantic Ocean and arrived on the eastern shores of what is now the United States and Canada. And Hebrew words, customs, and beliefs have been preserved in their cultures. It was that way when the Europeans first arrived, and it's still that way today.